Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot.
And also Vin.
Hey, what's up, Giants fan? Welcome to the BBL-NYG podcast. I'm Mike. That's Jules. That's Vin. Actually, I should say that's playoff Jules. Jules came in the league in the playoffs, postseason. Playoff Jules at 4 wins. Me and Vin had 3. Unfortunately, Jules is probably going to leave us in the dust. He's going to probably crush it in the playoffs. He's telling me what to bet. I've been riding with him, so I've been winning money on top of Jules. I'm like, this guy's different from the regular season, man. It's almost like he was playing with us. He's toying with us.
He's clutch.
Came through in the clutch.
I show up in the big games, all right? The regular season is boring to me.
Unbelievable.
Like the NBA players, I want to take off a couple of games. Let me play like 40 games.
Low managing Jules. Low managing.
It's either that or he's just trying to make his money back from the horrible regular season. But man, listen, we'll talk about that in a minute. But Giants had some news. Well, news around the NFL. Mike Tomlin stepping down. I don't know if that was really like a firing in a way, because he's been there with the organization so long. After the meeting, maybe just like kind of like they decided like, yeah, you could, go out on your own if you want, make you look better. That's kind of the feeling I got. I don't think they really wanted to fire him, but it was just maybe like a showing face type thing. So it brings us to like an interesting dilemma. Now it's like, who do we want? Do we want Mike Tomlin or Jim Harbaugh? Like, I don't know, man. It's a toss up for me now with those two guys. I'm actually leaning towards Mike Tomlin.
I mean, one thing you got to keep in mind too is like, dude was there 18 seasons? 18 seasons.
It's a long time.
He won a chip or won multiple chips, right? Then he won 2.
One.
He won 1. Okay, won 1.
He been to 2, I think.
Been to 2, right? Okay, so he's won 1. He won a chip. Like, in this day and age, who the fuck stays on the same team for 18 years? Like, shit doesn't happen anymore. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta respect it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's Pittsburgh's way, Jules. They had 4 coaches since they've been around, right?
For their whole franchise. No, I get it. And the other part to it is that, like, all right, so you put in that kind of tenure. You've never had a losing season, and yet you've been on the hot seat for the last 4 years, kind of. Where every year it's like, oh, if he misses the playoff this year, he's probably gone. But like you get tired of hearing that shit. It's like, yo, give me a quarterback that's not past his prime. And give me a quarterback that's not like fucking overly drafted in a Mason Rudolph.
Jules, I don't know if you saw it. Pittsburgh fans were booing and yelling "Fire Tomlin."
Yeah, that's fucked up, man.
I expected better out of the Pittsburgh fans.
Yeah, they're better than our fans for sure. We have a lot of.
That's why I think it goes to what I was just saying, like where you have like this newer generation of fans, right? That even if you were like say 8 or 9 when Tomlin took over as a coach, and now you're like 30 years old. That's all you know. You see all these different coaches. You see them firing up new fucking teams and young guys. And it just reaches a point where like that old tradition of just having that one coach and having a legacy and having them staying around. And like we were just saying, like they've only had 4 coaches in like their entire existence. It's just stale. Like people want to see some fire. They want to see something new. They want to see like a Ben Johnson who's fucking talking shit in the locker room all the time now. Hope he eats his fucking words. We'll see about that. And I think it is. I honestly don't think, as much as Tomlin will be there and he might entertain a couple of offers and he'll interview, I don't think he's going to coach next year. I think he's going to take at least a year off. I know he's got some offers to go do like broadcasting and everything else.
He might.
Why not? Give yourself a year off. If you miss it that much, you're young enough, you can get right back in the game. But if not, yo, man, maybe that's his call. And look at what Cowher did.
You done?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you get yelled at or something. I don't know.
I heard something in the background. I was like,
I was getting some info that had just come in, and apparently because he resigned in the way he did, teams would still have to offer something to the Steelers, whether it be a trade pick or something, because there's like, there's an incentive. There's like a clause that'll be included.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, so it's not like he just can go clean.
He did the team a favor.
Yeah, so in a way, he did the Steelers a favor.
Wow.
So
that might.
Who is that in the background?
Go ahead, is my advisor, all right?
So you got somebody with some inside information in Pittsburgh, huh?
The beat writer. Yeah,
the Pittsburgh beat writer.
my take on this again. I'm a little surprised. But my take is echoing what the two of you guys just said. Tomlin was a good coach, man. Not having you got to pay your respects to him to come in after Cowher. He was handed a very good Pittsburgh team that had a lot of Hall of Famers. He kept the winning going. He got his championship. He made the playoffs as much as he can. That Ravens Pittsburgh game in Week 18, that kid missing that kick, man, both coaches got fired. You know what I mean? But yeah, I like looking at Tomlin is younger. I want to say he's about mid 50s than Harbaugh. You're really splitting hairs. They were in similar situations. It'd be funny if they kind of just switched teams. That would be hilarious. But no, I just think Tomlin's interesting because I think he is a great motivator. For the last few years, casuals outside of Pittsburgh were love Tomlin. They were like, "Oh, Tomlin on the Giants would be great." But if you ask like real Pittsburgh Steeler fans, they were kind of sick of him. They were kind of like, he gets us in the playoffs, maybe we win the game, but the time has passed with him. And that's coming from real fans that I've talked to. So I don't know. But I guess I don't know. Am I interested in Tomlin? Of course I am. Is he interested in us? I don't know. I don't know if he's even going to take interviews. I agree with Jules. I think he might step away for a little bit, kind of let everybody build the hype up. Maybe the next coaching cycle, everybody will be talking about like Gruden or they talked about Bill Cowher for like with the Giants. They talked about him for like 10 years.
Listen,
And the guy never
that's a
coached again.
great point because it's been said and it got leaked out years later that if things would have fell apart with Coughlin, he was in. He was in. He was
And
taking.
I thought it
He
was going
loved
to
Eli
happen.
Manning. He was ready to come back.
Yeah.
It was the only thing he was going to take.
I guess maybe his family was living in New York, or maybe it was the studio was in New York. There was some connection with New York where we kept hearing Bill Cowher in New York, and I'm like, could you just fucking sign? Could you just come over already? And
Yeah.
it just never happened. Bill Cowher seems to be happy. He was like a crazy, and it took him a long time before he won. I actually thought the guy finally hit the pinnacle, and then he left a really, really good team. Like he worked so hard to
Yeah.
get that team, and then he left it for Tomlin. So Tomlin had big shoes to fill. Like, yeah, the team was good on one side, but then again, like he had to win. You know what I mean? He was going against New England, Brady's Patriots, and Peyton Manning's Colts, and all that. So the teams were stacked in the AFC. But
Don't forget these
yeah,
coaches, like they use New York for leverage for
hundred
everything. It
percent,
doesn't
hundred
matter, like
percent.
coaching, media, whatever it is. You know what I
But I
mean?
also agree with something you said, training to open up. I agree, and I thought the same thing to myself that Pittsburgh before the game was like, we lose this game, we get kicked out by the Texans. We don't want to fire you, so we're going to ask you to step down. Let's just show face for us, show face for you. Let's make this a happy marriage and a happy divorce.
Yeah, an
And I
amicable
think,
type
and
thing.
I
Yeah.
think Tomlin was like, "All right, bet. I think it's best for you. It's best for me." He seems like an upstanding dude. I think what you got in Harbaugh and Tomlin are two guys that are culture changers. I think it will be an adjustment. Everybody thinks it will just happen just like that in a New York market. I don't know it's gonna happen like that, but I think we're all in on Harbaugh. You throw Tomlin in the mix if he will take an interview. We're gonna interview. I heard we just
Yeah.
got the interview for the Minter, the DC from the Chargers. We just got
Right.
it. So we're interviewing everybody, but getting Chris Mara, who seems to be the heir apparent here, getting over to Harbaugh's house, getting the great future Hall of Famer Tom Coughlin to reach out, getting Brian Dable, upstanding move by Brian Dable, to talk about how great Jackson Dart is and this core, how he could win to Harbaugh. It's all hands on deck on Harbaugh right now. I
It's
think it'll
interesting.
be, I think the fan base will be devastated at this point that they don't get he goes somewhere else. It seems like he's going to whittle it down to three teams. I think those teams are the Giants, the Falcons,
Yeah.
and Tennessee for
Miami,
now.
Miami.
I think
I
Atlanta.
don't believe.
Atlanta.
I don't. I think Miami is
Atlanta. We got
over
to
the
worry about.
cap. I don't think Miami. They're over the cap. They have Tua. The owner's a meddler. Like I don't think Miami. I really don't
Nah,
think this
I don't
dude.
think either.
He's a Harbaugh. He's still gonna compete. I don't think he's going to Miami.
He wants a cold weather team, man. He wants a
Yeah,
brutal
and I don't
football
think
team.
it's about. It's always about money, but I don't think it's about tax money. Like I think, yeah, I
You
think
got
this
to
dude
watch out
wants to
for Atlanta
coach.
though. Atlanta's the team because of Arthur Blank. I mean,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Well
I'm
respected,
not too.
and
I
so he
gotta
could
tell you
get him.
guys though, and I don't want to be like this, but tell the listeners out there. I'm pretty confident the stars are aligning that Harbaugh's coming to the Giants. When that's going to happen, I don't know how long he's going to make us wait. He starts his interviews now. I think we interview him, what is it? Tomorrow night, he's coming for dinner, and then Thursday is the interview. So I'm hoping he's really enticed by what the Giants give him. I hear Mara is completely involved, which I like. You know, Mara is showing that he's going through something personal and he's still there. It
So
sounds
Chris,
like everything that we said, like the night we found Harbaugh was available, yo, give that guy a blank check, do anything to get him.
yeah.
Then I go and listen on the radio today. Craig Carton is all like, oh, it's beneath the Giants to be doing like sending Coughlin
Oh,
and
don't
doing all
listen to
this
them.
stuff. I don't agree with that because a week ago we were dying for this, and now all of a sudden things are beneath us.
Yeah, but
No,
he's a salty Jet fan too.
correct. But I got to tell you,
Oh
I,
yeah, he's a
I I
snake.
I love the Giants' approach on this. Shows they want him, but if he chooses somewhere else, it's really devastating. What I don't want to see happen, because I still like Stefanski. I still have Harbaugh and Tomlin above him, but I don't want to see like us waiting on Harbaugh's decision and Stefanski already makes his decision, goes
That'll
elsewhere.
never happen, man. Because it'll have to be the top dominoes have to
Do
fall
you
first.
think you think
Yeah,
Harbaugh's the
it.
first domino to fall? You
Oh,
think it'll
without a
go like
doubt,
that?
without a doubt, no
Because
question
I
about
gotta
it.
tell you, you might be right because it's kind of late. I thought somebody would have been signed already. I thought at this point a coach would have been signed.
Usually here, like kind of like later towards the playoffs, going into the Super Bowl.
Yeah. For like I said, now is when you could start talking to DCs and OCs, and you could start like interviewing some of the guys that the season's over. Some people that got fired. Like it feels like it's late, but it's not. It's really not. It's like
Really?
right around that time. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't make a decision until like that midweek in between.
He said next week. I heard. I
The
heard
NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. You know
he's
what I'm
got it
saying?
down. Oh, and another great tidbit of news. I don't know if you guys saw. We were worried about the Packers. It looks like they're trying to work out an extension for LaFleur. That is huge because I thought the Packers were going to be a real team that was going to be a real contender to getting him. So I'm glad that's happening.
I would have
I'm
fired
glad
him.
that the Bills won. So it gives us a whole nother week of
But then, you
McDermott.
know what? I thought about it over the weekend, right? And let's just play devil's advocate, and let's say that Trevor Lawrence goes down the field and wins that game, right? With the minutes remaining, right?
I think McDermott gets fired.
Perfect. I'd fucking take McDermott in a heartbeat. What, are
Oh,
you kidding me? Oh
no.
my God, you guys are crazy, dude. You look at what he's doing. You guys make fun of that defense, but that defense has had so many key injuries. It's similar to the 49ers defense. Very similar injury-wise as to what they had to overcome.
They can't stop the run.
Who's this number? Yeah, but they've had
It'll be
tons of
tough against the
injuries.
Broncos.
The injuries are adding up. Also, who
True.
the fuck is their receiver? They don't have any stud receivers. Every team in this playoff has a stud
They
receiver.
have QB1 though.
Well, listen, they might. They might have QB1 only because Stafford's a little older and he's a little banged up. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? You look at every other team that was in the playoffs, they all do. They all got studs everywhere. I mean, listen, Cook is having a great year, so you got to give him credit where credit's due. But you know what I mean? Like, yo, McDermott is a very underrated coach, and he's good. He's better than your boy Stefanowski. For fuck's sake. For fuck's sure.
I could.
Fuck sure.
I'm here for this argument. I'm here.
Okay,
For this.
good. How are you going to say Stefanowski's better?
First off, it's Stefanski.
Whatever.
Stefanski.
Stefanski,
Okay.
Stefanski.
You say my
Um,
name right,
Let him go coach in Atlanta.
Stefanski.
Christina.
Stefanski
Actually,
hasn't
I think he's
had.
now the favorite for Pittsburgh. It's him and
Stefanski has
Mulligan.
not had the luck of the quarterback play that is Josh Allen.
Oh my God, dude.
He has not.
It's true.
We
That-
thought Joe
he does it
Shane
all.
and Brian Dable was the answer to all our prayers, and that was really just a Josh Allen pick, buddy. That was it.
Maybe.
You think McDermott is? Let's go see McDermott. All right, when McDermott finally gets fired and he goes somewhere else, let's see him do it again. because
Oh,
I'd
well,
be
listen, he's
very
still alive in the
interested.
playoffs right now. So
I know.
let's
I
see
know.
what he does the rest of the season.
I
Yeah,
actually think he's
yeah.
going to make this up. They're my pick to win the AFC. I got them winning the AFC. So McDermott might be safe. All I was saying, though, back to my original point is, it's less contenders or less teams that will try to grab this guy. I don't hear him going to Cleveland or staying in that division anymore. It's really I don't. Tennessee's interesting because you got Cam Ward, you got Nashville's great, you
Hey,
got a good owner, you got a lot of cap space, but I don't think they're a real contender either. I really don't. Even though that division's easy, Atlanta doesn't have a quarterback. That's why I don't think he's got to go somewhere where the quarterback situation's settled down.
they got
Like
Michael
that they,
Penix.
huh?
They got Michael Penix and my favorite cousin.
I don't think
They're
that's
terrible.
a situation that's going to drive Harbaugh to go there, And I don't even think they have a first round pick this year, right?
No, I don't think so.
That's
They traded
crazy
it to the
too.
Rams. They traded to the Rams. You know what I mean? So I think Atlanta might be out too. I do. I think the only thing that Atlanta's got, they're in the dome. They're in an easier division. Tennessee, same shit. They're in warmer weather. They're in an easier division. I think it's the Giants. I really do. I'm
Just look at
confident.
Vegas. Just look at
I'm
Vegas, Finn. Vegas said they're John Harbaugh to be the next giant head coach is like minus 2,000 or some shit. Some
No, it's not
ridiculous
that
stuff.
high.
I might have just made that up. All right, maybe it might just like
Well, the the
800.
rate the Raiders. Nobody's mentioned Harbaugh with the Raiders, right?
No, no. Why would you go there? That's for like a rookie
You have the
coach.
number one pick.
I mean, ugh,
You have Tom Brady involved.
that's
You're
true.
playing indoors. You're playing in a tough division. You're playing in your brother's division.
That is crazy.
Right, and that's the other thing too. Why would he want to go do that? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
Yeah.
Why
I
would you
don't.
want to
I'm
walk
just
into your
asking you guys
brother
if
and
you are.
do
I
it?
haven't heard a thing about the
No,
Raiders.
definitely not.
Guys,
It hasn't
think about
even
it.
been mentioned.
Process of
I'm
elimination.
just
I
hoping he
think the
gets signed.
Giants is the move for him. I think
Let's
he's
hope
going to
so.
do the Giants. I really do.
Let's
And
hope.
we get the guy we wanted. Hopefully, he does what we think he's going to do.
All
That's
right.
it.
All right, guys. I
It,
think
it
that's it on
really
the
just
vote,
boils
right?
down to two, whether or not he wants to win now, or if he thinks that the Giants can win within the next couple of years, or at least be true contenders. And if he
Somebody,
feels that, then he's coming.
let me just play devil's advocate because there's too much positive hardball talk. Let me just put this out there.
Don't say it.
The last
In the
like five
North,
the last 5 years or so, he's had an elite roster, team, MVP, Lamar, all that. He didn't win the AFC at all. That hasn't even got the fault is on him just as much as it's on Lamar. He is
Lamar
within the
makes
last five
terrible
years.
mistakes, Finn. He blew it in the fucking playoffs so
Okay,
many
but
times.
within the
yeah.
last
And
five,
what happens if Mark
hold,
Andrews catches that pass?
hold on, within the
That
last
too.
5 years, we can say there's been probably a decline in Harbaugh.
I think it's been a
Probably.
decline in Lamar Jackson's play.
He's gotten MVPs in that
He can't
5 year
be,
period.
but he can't be like the way he's running the ball now. Like he's not the same quarterback. Like he's pushing 30. These running quarterbacks, they don't last that long. And then once his legs go and you try to make him like a pocket passer, dude, it's over. It's done.
It's
Well, it's
Cam
not like
Newton
that.
all over again.
It goes to my
Yeah.
argument from last year when we were picking who should be the MVP. Right, the MVP is supposed to be the most valuable player to that team, right? And they've proven this year that they could win without Lamar. Now, granted, it was over a short period of time and it wasn't that many games, and some of the
So that
competition.
goes to my point that Harbaugh's got a really good roster.
But what I'm trying, right, right. But where I was going with that was is that it kind of supports what Trainer's been saying is that they kept surrounding Lamar with better and better players. He never had a running back like Derrick Henry in the entire fucking career that he's had with the Ravens. Well, I think he may have had Jamal Lewis once, but I don't even think so. Like that. I can't even
I don't
think.
think so.
Yeah, I don't even think so. Right. So because I know there was like that one year where he came in, they made a run to the playoffs like for rookie year and whatnot. I can't remember who the running back was, but besides that, point is that yes, he put up great numbers, but like you were saying, like the offensive line was good. He had these extra fucking guys in Derrick Henry and fucking, guys stepping up. That's not the MVP. That's just the most explosive offensive player for the year. He should have won offensive player, no problem. But Barkley ran for 2,000 yards, so I didn't get it last year. Having statistical numbers isn't the MVP. A guy that could go in and win with guys you don't know of, names you never heard of, and win. And then when that guy's not there, you remove him from the equation and that team isn't the same. That's a fucking MVP. And that was always the case I made.
Yeah.
And
That's Josh Allen.
Right.
Here.
And that's why I got to kind of say what Trainer was saying was like, yo, like, yeah, Lamar statistically was out of control, but those were also some of the best teams he ever had offensively. So it's like, I don't know. And then what happened this
So
year?
go back to my point. Did Harbaugh underachieve with this roster?
Yeah, but then again, if you're MVP
and with those numbers that Lamar's putting up,
well, what I'm
Their
saying
defense
is
lost some guys though.
and your MVP player, lost on a fucking crazy ass play because his tight end dropped the pass, and who knows where that was going to go. You know what I mean? So like, there's certain things that coaches can control, and there's certain things that they can't. He can only go so far as that team takes him. And as we said, Lamar playoff is not Lamar regular season.
So my next question is
quarterback in the playoffs.
My next question is
he's not worse than Justin Herbert though.
has Tomlin like remained the same? Has he trended up? Has he trended down?
He's always been the same, Vin.
You said it.
Vin said it like on this podcast so many times. Every time Pittsburgh plays, they're always either in it, they lose by a point, win by a point. He keeps the team.
Yeah, they keep it close in fourth quarter.
I gotta give him he wasn't like that when he had Big Ben. They were playing some fucking fantastic football with him, Hines Ward. They had some fucking squads, and then all of a sudden you lose their quarterback, and he's playing these tight games because he has to. He has nobody that can really go out and, you know what I mean.
That's why quarterbacks are so tough. Important.
Oh, you gotta have the marriage.
That's also what goes to the point that we mentioned earlier. And if you were listening to the Manning cast last night, it makes sense because they had Roethlisberger on there in the fourth quarter, and they were talking about it. And it's like, wow, you forget. Well, you had Peyton Manning, 5-time MVP in the AFC. All right. You had Ben Roethlisberger, 2-time Super Bowl champ. Fucking Manning won 2. Brady won what? 5, 6, 6,
7.
No, we're New England. We're New England.
Oh, New England
6 with New England. Bro, that's 3 guys that have 10 fucking Super Bowls. You know what I mean? Like, how much success could these guys have with that much competition? Like, the level was just out there. It was insane. And then you throw in Eli stealing 2 throughout that tenure. I mean, it's amazing that these guys even had the success that they had. And that's not even counting some of these other people that have snuck in here and there, So it's tough to say. I think I'm going to go back to what I mentioned earlier, and I'm going to kind of stand by it, is that sometimes people just need a little bit of a change. They need a different direction. They need to hear a new voice in the locker room and leadership and everything. Yes. And I think that's what happened. These guys are dinosaurs. I maybe
let's end on that.
What McVay does, right? Because of his age, maybe he has a tenure like that with the Rams. But like that type of shit is not what it used to be. It's just not anymore. It's a whole new ball game. You're with a team for a decade. That's a long fucking tenure. You know what I mean? And I think that's what a lot of
that's what I want though.
Let's end on that, Vin. Let's end on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that might be enough to rebirth everything.
Yeah. All right. So change of scenery is good for everybody. All right, guys, we got to get in on these picks. The NFL playoffs is here.
We only got 4 games, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but we got to talk a little bit about what happened. Last weekend, Carolina covered. We knew getting those a lot of points, man. And on a home playoff team, they're going to cover. That game was pretty crazy. It was almost down to the wire. Carolina had a chance to win. The Rams kept giving them chances, but unfortunately, the Rams, they came back on Carolina. Disappointed those Carolina fans in there.
Shameful by the Rams defense.
It's tough. We had a lot of good games. I'll just run through all the games that you guys want to bring up. Any points of the games?
Well, yeah. I mean, well, for me, I think that one thing that was sort of highlighted in that Rams Carolina game is what I've been saying. I don't think Shula's ready. And as far as a coaching candidacy for head coach, I think he should go back to the Rams another season. That's just my opinion. I wouldn't want to hire him.
He's going to Baltimore.
He could be. That's not a bad. Not a bad.
I think Shula goes to Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Minter is the other guy that's going to go to one of those 2 teams. I think those 2 jobs, because the GMs are so solid, I think that those are the jobs to get.
That's not a bad point. Go
with those young guys. Yeah, that makes sense.
And go again the next 20 years.
All right, we'll see.
That's what Pittsburgh wants to do.
All right, so the other game was the Bears-Packers. Bears with that magical comeback. I thought Matt LaFleur is going to get fired after that horrible second half of football. I don't know what Green Bay was doing. They started off so hot in that game. Any points on that game, guys?
Just the fact that I thought I was going to double down because then I throw some money on that live. Did I live bet that game?
I think you did or you tried. I don't know. I don't
Oh, I
remember.
was trying. Oh, that's right. I tried to.
Yeah,
The
I
darlings
I was drinking.
continue. The NFL
Yeah,
2026 darlings have continue. They won a playoff game. I'm actually happy for the Bears fans because
me
they
too.
suffered a lot. They suffered a whole lot. Packers have had success, and
Yeah,
I'm not a big LaFleur guy, but I'm glad he's getting his extension.
Yeah, but
damn
I
right.
also think what's his name is just running his mouth just a little too much. Fucking
Maybe,
Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson
maybe.
got to shut
I
the fuck
agree.
up.
I
Yo,
totally
you beat
agree.
you beat the
He's hyping his
Packers,
team up though. I
right?
like
He,
it.
he didn't
I
even
get it.
dap him up barely. He didn't even look at him when he was when the
Yeah,
coach was
like I
down.
get it.
Yeah,
There's definitely some animosity, and he's buying into the whole Packers Bears rivalry, and
also
it's gonna
love
be
the
fun.
division
It's gonna be
games.
fun to see over the next few seasons.
Remember, one
Sure.
year
Yeah,
does not carry over to the next.
very
Look
true.
at Jules's Detroit Lions. Oof,
Wow,
Very, very
look at our
true.
fucking look at our psycho baller and
Washington.
fucking the Commanders.
Yep.
All right. All right. The other game, Jules' other team, the Buffalo Bills, came back. You shouldn't have left any time on the clock for Josh Allen to come back after Jacksonville take the lead. Came right back down. Pretty much ran. Josh Allen did it on his own. He ran the football up the middle for a fucking touchdown when it was 4th and inches. He just decided to go for another 10 yards to ice the game. Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence with the big interception at the end. Unfortunately, they couldn't do it. Jacksonville was hot going into the playoffs, but I give it to the Bills. They did good. They shut them down, man. They played good D.
And listen, you know what? For the most part, Trevor was playing a great game. He was keeping them in it, man. He put up a good fight. It was really that. I think the
He
experience
did.
came down to it. Now was a deciding factor. A team that's been there, is battle tested, has been through all these games with Lamar, with Pat Mahomes, with Joe Burrow. Reaches a point like that's Trevor's like what second real big game, right? He had the other one against Herbert 2 seasons
Yeah.
ago, and then this one, like he'll be there. He's coming around. Like it's going to be interesting to see how that South tightens up next season.
For sure.
A couple of things about this game. Nobody ran the ball. Like you had James Cook. I know the Bills had a really good
Both of them did.
Jaguars number
pass
one run
defense.
defense in the
They
NFL.
tried, Vin. They
Yeah,
tried.
Jaguars number one run defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
I saw that both sides, like they were
Yeah.
running two in the first quarter. I was like, give him the ball a little bit more. But I thought it was way too pass heavy for both offenses, which kind of made the game a little boring for me, a little redundant. I like to see more balance. But I never believed in Jacksonville. Not once. I like Trevor Lawrence, but Jacksonville is a Mickey Mouse bogus circus. They had people in the pool when you had coaches on the sideline in hoodies. I couldn't even understand the weather down there. I'm like, this is just a weird, odd place to play January football. Of course, the Bills they could go in there in wheelchairs and they would win that game. They kept it close
Well, he
because
scored in the
Close, yeah.
fourth quarter.
Yeah,
yeah, they kept it
it's a
close
tight
because
game.
Trevor Lawrence is a good player and there is talent on the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I'm not taking them serious. I never did. I never will. The Jacksonville Jaguars will never win a meaningful game.
What the
What if they
Jacksonville
what if they
Jaguars?
end up in Orlando? Would that make you feel better?
No, that's where Mickey Mouse is actually lives. Absolutely not. No,
What did
I
Jacksonville
think
do to you? Holy
I
shit!
think the Bills were battle tested. When they saw Jacksonville, they're like, yeah, that's a
They
vacation.
licked their chops.
Yeah, I was like, Buffalo, this is what they wanted. They didn't want New England. They wanted Jacksonville.
All right, all right. Well, moving on to the next game. We all agree we're happy on this. San Fran went into Philly and beat them.
Thank
Philly's
God.
offense just looks like a joke. What's his name? The wide receiver that's a real asshole.
AJ
I
Brown.
can't say his name. AJ Brown. I hate that fucking. He's just
Hey,
such a
Jerk Brown.
loser. He's dropping balls left and right. I think he drops the ball on purpose. I think he hates Jalen
He
Hurts so
lost in that
much.
game.
They don't even talk. He blew the game for him. Be honest with you, there was
Big time.
big plays. He could have caught the ball, kept the drive going, and they could have came back and won that game. But yeah,
All right, so I'm going to throw a
Yeah.
quick devil's advocate in there real fast. Let's just say he's that pissed off and he wants to take like the fucking most darling sweetheart deal of the world and whatever could be done on the cheapest cost and wants to play for the Giants next year just to stick it back to Philly. Do you take him?
No, no, no. That guy's a cancer.
But I
don't-
heard
yeah.
he's not. And I think a lot of his like sideline antics get blown up, and it's not really what's going on.
I don't want any
Because
part
a
of
lot
it,
people
whether
say
it's
he's a
real
really
or
good
fake,
comedian.
Jules. I don't want any part of that. He is on some diva shit.
Yeah, he had
That
some
guy's
issues
out
in
of
Tennessee
line.
too.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah,
Yo,
he's an asshole.
yo, they were winning. They were like, I think they were undefeated, and he was pissed off and was
Yes,
like,
during the
I'm
year.
not having fun. It's like, oh my God, you guys are winning. Like, you're gonna fuck all this up. And he did. He
Did.
fucked it all up. I don't
Yeah.
want any parts of a guy like that. I don't care how good he is.
Yeah, they're definitely something's wrong there. They
Can you
fired their
imagine
offensive
him in a
coordinator too.
Jackson Dart huddle? Yo, you would
Nah,
get me the ball. Can you
listen,
imagine what Devontae Smith must be thinking to himself? Because he's a quiet
it's
guy,
quiet. Yeah,
professional.
real
He
quiet.
must
He
be like,
just
yo,
wants to do
get
his
me the
thing.
ball. Please get me the ball. You know?
Yeah, it's like I won't fucking drop it.
Oh,
But
we're gonna find out because I'm
listen,
pretty sure AJ Brown is not going to be a fucking Eagle next year. So
yeah, I don't see that happening.
we'll see. We'll see
All
how
right.
they
I guess they're keeping Sirianni too.
Yeah,
He
well,
just
They
fired
he
him.
fired
they
the
fired the
offensive
OC
coordinator.
today.
Yeah, he fired the OC. So
Dude, they had Big Dom break him up in the middle. I loved it. A smile from ear to ear. The whole shit that was going down. I'm like, wow. They beat him on some trickery too. Good for the
yeah,
Niners. Good for
good for
that.
them too.
McCaffrey's a boss. That
All
guy's
right,
a boss.
moving
He's trying
on.
to win his.
The
He's trying to win a chip,
Chargers.
man.
The Chargers at New England. God, I don't know what happened. Justin Herbert in the playoffs just looks like complete dog shit. Listen, I said it. On the pod last week. Losing both tackles hurts. I didn't think New England had this crazy pass rush. I thought he'd be able to get some plays off. It's almost like he couldn't get the ball to his wide receivers at all. He was underthrowing them. A couple picks here and there. He was fumbling. He had all issues going on. New England just looks like they were monsters, hitting them hard. My God, it was awful, awful game to watch.
Yeah, it might have been the worst game of the fucking whole fucking weekend.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
nothing
I
really
think
to say to that.
Herbert should have probably like adjusted. You don't have tackles, get rid of the ball quickly. He held on to it a bunch of times. I'm like, what are you doing? Herbert,
Yeah,
I think, is like 0-3 in the playoffs in his like career now.
it's terrible.
I think people are really falling off of him now. Like they starting to say,
He gets a pass from me. He just gets a pass because of the tackle issue. He
Yeah,
had both
yeah.
fucking starting tackles out, dude.
You
I
can't
don't.
lose two.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and a
tough.
rookie running back, like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah. Now,
wasn't it Herbert that lost a big lead to Trevor Lawrence a couple of years
yes,
back? You know, like
yeah,
Herbert's had
they had
keep
luck.
giving him passes, and I know he's talented and all, but he's got a coach now, so you can't blame that anymore. Like
Gotta win the big game.
eventually, Herbert's got to pay the rent. He's got to answer to these losses.
See
They're
what
mounting.
happens. We'll
They're
see what happens
mounting.
next year. Him and Harbaugh are married to each other. All right, moving on. Houston Texans and Pittsburgh. We all see what happened. It was a close game for the most part yesterday, 7-6. And then Houston's defense just would not let Rodgers do anything. I think Rodgers goes and retires. Houston Texans defense. I mean, they looked ferocious all over the fucking guy. It was an easy bet to take Houston yesterday.
and the only thing worries me there is that like everyone thinks and they see that they think that like this is all gonna be like fucking good to go, but I'll tell you, playing in New England is going to be tough because Drake May is a hell of a lot more mobile at this state in their careers than Rodgers. There was a couple of times where if you had a Drake May, his legs would have picked up that first down, and instead it was Rodgers where he threw that pass. I forgot the who. It might have been Metcalf or somebody. It was like third quarter, went right through his fucking hands. It should have been caught. You know what I mean? May might take off there and run, and he
Game
probably picks up the
changers.
first down with his legs because he's not Rodgers right now. I think so. It's tough to really gauge where both of those teams are at. I'll tell you this much: if Houston plays as sloppy on offense as they did against the Steelers in New England this weekend, they're going to get beat quick and easy.
Correct.
To counter your point though about May, he had a horrific game. Very disappointing maiden game for Drake May in the playoffs. So he's got to clean himself up because he got lucky that Herbert was even worse on the other side. And his defense pretty much did really well. So Drake May, I like Drake May. Very disappointed in what I saw from him. Aaron Rodgers kind of like fumbled his feet over his own offensive lineman. I actually think Rodgers comes back. As of right now, I think he comes back. But with Tomlin retiring or leaving, it kind of throws a wrench in it all. I would think if Tomlin was there, definitely he was going to come back. I don't think Rodgers is necessarily done. Or he's going to draw it out like Brett Favre did, and we're going to
Of
wait.
course he will.
And we're
He's a
going to
drama.
wait.
He's a drama queen. He'll do some
He loves it.
ayahuasca, then he'll come back and he'll make a decision.
His eyes look bloodshot.
I love his face.
Bro, I thought he fucking had a stroke when he got hit on that fucking on that strip back.
Oh,
He's
God.
Poor guy. All right, so we got to get into some playoff action this weekend. Saturday game, Buffalo Bills They're in Denver. The Buffalo Bills are actually favored in this game.
I hate that.
Favored
Wow.
in Denver.
Wow.
That's a trap. That's a trap game right there. I'm gonna go Denver Broncos. They're the number one seed for a reason. Home field advantage. That defense is gonna be tough for Josh Allen to do it on his own. He lost Gabe Davis. Um, you know, his magic can only go so long. There's always that one team or one game in the playoffs. It's usually Mahomes that he loses to, but I don't think Buffalo has enough. So give me Denver.
All right, so I feel like you contradicted yourself there slightly because you said that that was a trap game. The
Well,
game is
Buffalo being
begging.
favored.
Hold on, Vegas by making them a 1.5 point favorite is begging you to take Denver. That's the trap. I mean, if you
I
think
think it's
about it, right?
I think
Because
it's
how is
taking
the number
Buffalo.
one seed coming off of a fucking bye week going against a team that was finished as the sixth seed, barely almost didn't make the playoffs at one point, and their whole team is Josh Allen, right? They
Yeah.
can't stop the run, they can't do this, but yet there's somehow the favorite. The fucking trap is
People love
Denver
betting
this
on
season.
Josh Allen, Jules. That's
Bro,
what it
yeah,
is.
but no, man, like that's the whole point. Like that to me is the trap there. And like I'm gonna put it out there in another way too. The only thing that I think Denver has going for them is their coach and the experience in that level. And he's a Super Bowl winner, and that's going to say a lot. But when you look at it from talent and perspective and things of who's going on, all the big dogs are gone. Every big dog quarterback in the AFC is gone except for Josh Allen. Bro, if he doesn't win this year, when the fuck is he gonna win?
Probably
Like,
never.
I don't get it. Like, if you can't beat Bo Nix and CJ Stroud and Trevor Lawrence and Drake May, who's having 1 year, dude, when are you supposed to win? I get it. Pat Mahomes is out next year, probably, at least for the majority of the season, recovering and everything else. But Joe Burrow's going to be back. Fucking Lamar will probably be back, and maybe even more fired up with a new coach. You're in win mode now. And to me, Vegas always has something right, man. Look, they could lose this game by a field goal last second. Maybe they do get down the field. They kick the field goal. They fucking win, whatever. But, man, you got to go Buffalo here, bro. There's something weird with that line. I hate having a number one seed in their first game in action in the playoffs be the underdogs. Something don't sound right there either. But I'm going to roll with them until I can.
It's also that the NFL has got so much parity going on. That's why, too. Like the difference between a 6 seed and a 1 seed is not what it used to be. So let's not talk like it's a big difference. This is a week to week league. You know what I mean?
True.
Denver had and New England, the top 2 seeds of the AFC, had by far the easiest schedules all year long. So when I say, which I say all the time, 70% of a team's success for a season, it comes from their schedule, and that's what's happening here. So, with that said, I agree. Denver's going to be tough because they check a lot of boxes. They got Sean Payton as their coach. They've got a quarterback who's young enough but can win in tight games. He's shown enough of a clutch factor this year. They got a solid line. They got a nice run game, and their defense is a top 3 defense in the league. The defense has been humming all year and they're healthy. They're healthy on top of all that. Um, and the biggest part for Denver is that they're home. Playing in Mile High is going to be difficult. The place is loud, the air is thin, everything's. But with that, I 100% agree with Jules. This is my AFC champs. I haven't been so confident on the Bills until this year.
Oh,
You know what I mean? I really believe because of Josh Allen, because exactly what Jules just said. They're all the big dogs are out. He should scrape through. Even that his team is so limited, even that his he don't have any pass catchers. His defense is so. Like the defense will make some plays, but then they give up the big play. I think Josh Allen has to will it because when will he win? This is his opportunity to at least get to the big game.
at least
And,
get
you know, if you're telling me Denver is the biggest, like the number 1 seed, it's on the road, this is going to be the biggest obstacle, he should overcome it. Vegas
Should it?
knows, and you should know, listeners. Take Josh Allen here.
All right. See, like that's the thing. Like, everybody's expecting. Oh, he's definitely gonna do it now because Mahomes is not there. He only has that. That's why. That's why. To me, it's a trap game. But we'll see. We'll see what happens on Saturday. But
and
the home
also too,
team, Denver's a home team. They get the bye week. They have that extra week off, Jules.
you said the parity. It is wild how the 6 seeds, the 5 seeds, the 2 seeds all won last week in both the AFC and the NFC.
Yeah,
Pretty fucking wild.
it's
And if
five
you
and
do keep
six
in
going
keep in
into
mind that if Buffalo doesn't have that hiccup against Miami and they actually had a kicker against the Eagles, they probably win the #1 seed. But we'll see.
That's
They
it.
just made their road that much more difficult. Same for the Rams.
Yeah.
Because I got a 6 playing a 5 in my Super Bowl, and they just made their roads that much more difficult.
It's yeah, Jules is right. All 6 and 5s playing 1s and 2s this week. Crazy. And the other
Yeah.
team that has the bye week coming off is Seattle Seahawks. San Fran got to go into Seattle. We all know what had happened a couple weeks ago. Seattle's actually -7 right now. It keeps going back and forth. 6.5. I seen it drop. I seen it go to 7.5. But right now it's like around 7, a touchdown. I gotta say, 49ers, they lost Kittle, which is tough. That's a big loss on their offense. So I got to go with Seattle with that defense, the run game, the offense. I don't think San Fran has enough defense to really keep up with them. Remember, they have like all these linebackers, mix and match group that Salah's putting together, but eventually that got to run out.
Dude, so wait, 7 though? I'm getting 7 here. That's a lot of fucking points, man. They still got, make sure you use your tongas. He's not bad, man. He fills in nicely for Kittle all the time at tight end. I mean, if they can get Pearsall back, that's another weapon that can kind of help out a little bit as well. Let's see how that turns out. But 7? I mean, bro, they lost what? They lost by a fucking 10 points. The last time they met 2 weeks ago, it was 13-3. They beat them earlier in the season. I'll take the points here. I'm not saying the 49ers win, but you want to give me a full touchdown, especially a team coming off a bye. They're coming off a big win against the Eagles, division opponent. They both played each other 1-1. I'll take the points here, especially with it being pretty much the biggest spread of the whole weekend.
Yeah, the spread is interesting.
That changed it for me.
And Sam Darnold is the big X factor. Guy's yet to win a playoff game, win a big game for that matter. So he's like, I don't think they're expecting much from him. He's just got to manage it, make sure they run the ball defensively. They do that. They're in Seattle, so I'm definitely picking Seattle to win. But I'm
Yeah.
kind of like with Jules here. Like the Niners show a lot of heart. Shanahan is the most well buttoned up team you see, but they had to use a lot of trickery to get through Philly. Not to say Philly was easy, but losing Kittle is huge because at least as not as a pass catcher, but at least as a decoy, like that's a big loss. Tunja's whatever, next man up, eventually it catches up with you. It has to. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna take the points here, even though I think Seattle definitely wins, but the Niners won't go out like that. They still have Brock Purdy, who I think is an above average quarterback. Um, yeah, and they're gonna run. McCaffrey's still in this game. McCaffrey is the focal point, and he's gonna do what he can to keep this game close. It's gonna be a good game. Run, run, run.
Won't be enough, man.
There's a reason why they made that the Saturday night game.
Yeah, and the reason why that's the biggest spread is because Seattle's no joke, man. They got one of the best teams.
I haven't watched enough of them this year.
They're good, man. Their defense is fucking nasty, bro.
CBS still doesn't want to give a line on that. So, like, you really got to go digging for these lines in that game. Just saying.
All right. Well, moving on to Sunday games. Remember, it's 3:00 and 6:30 this weekend. Houston Texans are at New England. They got to go up to New England. I think, Jules, you said it before. If CJ Stroud plays the way he does on offense against that team up in Foxborough, they're done. They're done. And he's been that way all year. So, like some of his decisions yesterday, it's like CJ Stroud bet the Pittsburgh Steelers in the beginning of that game. The way he looked, he was fumbling left and right, threw a bad pick. It was awful, fucking awful football. And the reason why the Houston Texans won because they ran the ball and they played defense. That's it. I don't think it's going to be enough to beat New England, man. New England's tough too. I'll take New England -3 up there in New England. So give me New England -3. I think Houston falls apart.
It's tough, man, because like Vinny was saying a little earlier too, with fucking Drake May. He hasn't been 100% certain. This is his first fucking playoff run too. You know what I mean? So like I don't, you don't know how he's going to respond either, right? So there's definitely a lot of question marks here. Listen, if Woody Marks continues to run the ball like he did fucking last night, that's going to be very impressive. And like one thing that stuck with me was that Houston is taking this game like they're not even like in the least bit overconfident or anything. Like they're really kind of taking this game with almost like a humble approach. Because Will Anderson at the end of the game last night was questioned and said, and when they were asked him, they said, "Well, what do you think of New England?" And one of the first things he said was, "Drake May's a hell of a player, and it's going to be a good one to watch." Like they realize what they're up against. And I'm gonna tell you this much too: that Houston defense, if they start seeing C.J. Stroud and some of these other guys getting knocked around, guess what? These boys in Houston, they ain't gonna take that shit. They're gonna start smacking some of these fucking New England guys around. And I don't know how this New England team is built just yet, where they could overcome that. They've had it easy, like we said. Easy games, easy this, easy that. They haven't met a defense that's actually came up and smacked this shit out of Drake May and started knocking around at Stephon Diggs and all these other guys. Maybe Hunter Henry's used to that kind of shit. But bro, like I'm serious. Like, yo, if Houston brings it and they start matching the same tone as New England, they might pull the fucking upset, man. I'm gonna go Houston here. I'm not sold with New England just yet.
Um, it's funny you say how Will Anderson was being professional. I love that. CJ Stroud, who almost deliberately lost that game for his team, was unprofessional. He was yelling out at the Pittsburgh fans, "You mad, you mad, we won." He looked like a total idiot. And
All
I
right.
thought Stroud was better than that, you know, and he's
That's what I
yelling.
thought. Yeah.
And
He still got the Ohio State in him, bro.
these fans are getting at him, and it's like,
Yep.
yo, you sucked. Like, throw your head down, wave, and run off. Like,
Yeah,
what are you
take the
doing?
W. Yeah, take the
Yeah,
W. It was
take the
awful.
W. You like humble yourself, you asshole. But
Agreed.
again, I have to agree with Jules. Like, this is the hardest game by far to choose.
Oh yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know New England. I don't know what I got here because they played fucking nobody. They exposed the Chargers. I don't know if that's New England being so good or the Chargers being so bad without those tackles. Even Houston, I can't figure this team out. I know the defense is legit, but like CJ Stroud was a darling in this league rookie year. Everybody loves CJ Stroud, and since then he sucks. That offensive line sucks. Nico Collins can't stay on the field. I don't even think they use Nico Collins correctly. Christian Kirk made some nice catches,
Yeah.
some nice drops too. So I can't really figure them out either. This is like a two teams that I really just I guess I'm gonna go Houston because I feel like if anybody's gonna go on a run, it's gonna be them. Just
Wow.
because I guess I'm so late to this party, but they're doing it with defense, physicality. That game was close yesterday, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it got out of hand, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So I think this Houston defense is imposing. They're healthy. The Hunter guy, Will Anderson, these boys get after it, and I love it. I'm here
Juju and all
for
those
it.
dudes.
Even New England. New England's got some bell ringers too, but I don't know. They're home. The place will be rocking, but I don't think Foxborough. I said this whole year about New England. They're just about a year or two ahead of schedule. I don't think they should be getting all this success so soon because they're still building it up. Is who's Drake May throwing it to? You know what I mean? Like,
Hey, Booty.
yeah, like you know what I mean. I'm not
On your
really
digs.
impressed.
Diggs.
I think
Booty.
I think give me Houston here on an upset. I think Houston wins.
You and
And
Jules
last little
agree
bit
in
there,
every one of them.
Houston's won 10 straight.
Yeah. And
As
listen,
long as that
when Houston's defense knows you're
That
drunk,
doesn't matter to
it's
me.
over.
The win streak doesn't matter to me because Jacksonville won how many straight and they lost. You know, at home. So
but
that
they went down with a fight, but yeah, I hear you.
All
did
right.
they Trevor Lawrence on first down throwing an interception?
No, man, he
yeah.
made a bad
The
play.
game ended kind of.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't wild like that for sure. Well, you and Jules, Vin, are agreeing the past three games, but I got a feeling you're going to agree with me on this last game. The Rams, they're -4 in Chicago. I think the Darling Bears, I think that storyline goes away this time. I'm going to go with the Rams. I think the Rams got the better D. Bears can't be fucking around for 3/4 of the game and expect to have a miracle comeback against this team, against Sean McVay. It just won't happen. I think the Rams, win pretty easily. I would take them. I would take the Rams actually minus like 9.5 in this game, even though the spread's like 4 right now.
Yeah, I think the Rams they're starting to taste it. If I'm not mistaken, and I don't know how true this is, but Devontae Adams basically said that when Stafford got the ball with the time remaining to go down in the fourth quarter there, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna break their hearts." And he said that shit in the huddle, and
Yeah,
they
he
went out
did.
and
That's your
fucking won
MVP
it.
right there. That's your
So
MVP.
I think they got the taste. They don't have to worry about the Eagles, right? Because that was going to be the next hump they were going to have to try to get over.
Yes.
Listen, I'm not saying that the Bears are going to roll over. They're coached very well. It should be an interesting game. It's going to be cold weather. Could we run into a similar situation that happened to the Rams last year, where it got frigid and started snowing like crazy in Philadelphia, and that kind of like swayed the direction of that fourth quarter against them? It's possible. It's possible. It's going to be fucking cold in Chicago. I mean,
Stafford got the finger, but they
they
said his
got
finger's
going.
good. His finger's okay.
Who was that?
Stafford's finger, they said it's
Yeah.
okay today.
I mean, look, you're gonna have Devontae Adams another week, healthy, and kind of back into his own, got his legs under him. Like I said, the only that worries me slightly is just the fact that it's gonna be fucking cold, and it's gonna be Sunday, pretty much nightish, and that's the only thing that worries me. But I think the Rams are at that point where they realize they're too close to fuck this up, and I think they're gonna pull it out. Plus, like I said, Ben Johnson talking all that shit. Not a good look for a head coach.
Rams gonna have an easy way to get to the Super Bowl this year.
Once again, I'm agreeing with playoff Jules here. Um, I think the Bears, they've been the darlings all year. I thought it was over for them last week. Somehow they pulled that out. You know what I mean? They gave something nice for their fans. It was deserving. They're home. Ben Johnson's living a nice little honeymoon phase in year one. Let's see what he does in year two. I think the Bears are playing for relevancy. They're playing to be, contenders for the future. The Rams are ready now to win a championship. They are a championship team the way they're built from coach all the way through the defense. The defense has been a letdown. I like what Jules said in that they've gotten a taste now. The only thing that hold them back is the weather. Now I've seen some horrific records for the Rams in the cold weather, and even worse for Matt Stafford. Remember that dude played in a dome in Detroit.
and
So
and he played in Georgia in college.
right. So
You know
like
what I mean?
my
So,
my
hey, dude,
my
hey,
worry my worry is not so much the Rams as a team. My worry is the quarterback. And I haven't been worried about him all year because he's my guy to win this championship. So he's the one that I'm like, if he's not dealing to Devontae and Puka, like they're gonna have to rely more on running, but they're not gonna because they're gonna throw the ball. But I don't think the Bears defense is
They're
scary
not.
in any
They're not
way.
good. They're not that great.
They're not good
It's
at all.
it's
So
inevitable that
that's
the
what I think.
Rams and Seattle play.
I think
yes,
Carolina
I
had a better
agree.
defense than
So
the
I
Bears.
think that neutralizes everything, and that's enough for the Rams to win this game and get through. I like that they play the Bears, and it's not Philly. You know what I mean? Like I think Philly would have given them a much, much tougher time because Philly's just so physical on
Yeah.
defense. Like going to get the Bears, Matthew Stafford, you've just been given like a luck chuck here.
Carolina, then the
Take
Bears,
advantage.
and then you're gonna probably play Seattle. Like it's like
Then you play a division opponent that
you
you at
know.
least are familiar with. You know what I'm trying to say? Like if you
What
get,
would they do? Did they split this year? What did Seattle Rams
I
do?
believe, I feel like they all. Let me double check, but I felt like they all split.
Yo, you're definitely gonna have an NFC West championship game. Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no doubt
they
about it.
split.
They
They
have
all split.
dominated this year. They split?
They all split. Yeah.
Home and home? Home and home, Seattle and
I think
Rams.
I think one on the road, one at home with the Rams in Seattle, right?
Yeah. So with the Rams won in Seattle, and then Seattle won in overtime
On
in
Thursday,
in
right?
LA.
It's like a Thursday
So
night
like
game.
The Rams have been really good against Seattle this year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely coming down to
I
that.
don't think if Darnold somehow gets through this week, he ain't ready for that moment. Championship game. Sam Darnold? I don't think so. I don't.
That's gonna be tough when he gets there. But listen,
Let's
we'll
see
see
what he
what
does
happens this
Sunday.
weekend.
Yeah.
That's
See
the
what he
NFL
does
playoffs,
then.
fellas.
That's why they
So,
play the games they play them.
Oh, can I say
Good.
one thing
Final
too?
eight.
good
Can
luck.
I say one thing too about the NFL schedule? The number one thing I really, really hate about the NFL is the schedule. They really had to do that stupid Monday night game last night. I don't like it.
I know.
You give the Texans now one less day of rest. They got
Yeah,
to go
I
on the
know.
road now to New England, and they're playing that game on Sunday, right? Like, I
Yes,
don't care about the Saturday, Sunday. If one day somebody plays us, they'll work that out.
they
But to
usually
do
do.
that Monday night, like you should have just did both games on the weekends because you're screwing that team that wins on the Monday. All right, you
Yeah,
just
that's a
won
good
now.
point.
Get your ass on the road and go to New England. It's like, I think that's real whack of the NFL that they did that, and they should abolish Monday night after Week 17.
They'll
Like,
never
just
do
get
it.
rid
But
of
like
it.
I feel like they almost did that for every number one and number two seed because like the Bills played on Sunday, but now they got to go play on Saturday after having a week off. After the Broncos had a week off. It's kind of fucked up too. That team had a
Yeah.
week off, and you're gonna put Buffalo on a shorter week. Like that's kind of fucked up too. But like,
Right.
are they doing
Yeah.
that on purpose because that's what you get for being the number one and number two seed? So
That's
that's what
probably
I'm.
the
That's the only
benefit.
other thing that kind of factors in a
That
little.
makes sense. Yeah, that I'm
That's why
okay
the
with
Bears played
that.
on Saturday night. Even though the Rams played on Saturday, but whatever.
I
Yeah.
don't like I don't like the Monday though, because like that sucks.
That's like at least a film day, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
You know?
sucks.
Yeah.
You
Something
know?
Yeah,
like
because
that.
now it's like today you had to kind of like, okay, now you reviewed. So then what? You got Wednesday, Thursday to hit and get the game plan in. Friday you're looking at film, and then you gotta like travel.
Just think about recovery and injury and stuff like that. Just think about even just that. 24 hours makes a
Yeah.
you guys still play whatever you play. Like one
New
day.
England-
No, yeah, an extra 24 hours makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. New
100%.
England got
I'll even
yeah.
let you know about coming off of a hangover. Sometimes that second day is even better.
Which team was it? Was it
Sometimes
New
it takes
England?
way too long.
Was it New England? One of the teams was dealing with the flu in their locker room. They said they were
Yeah, I
all
heard about
running
that.
through it.
Yeah,
Was it New
subway
England?
team.
I think that was Chicago 2 weeks ago or somebody bring one of them. I feel like it was Chicago.
I thought it was now leading up to this game.
I
This
thought it
No, I
was.
feel like it was to close out the regular season. It was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, somebody was. It was like a stomach bug, or somebody was catching
Yeah,
flu, and they were
someone's-
like, all
I
their
thought it was the
players
Rams. I thought they
are
said about
fucked
the
up.
Rams against
Was it
Carolina.
it might have been it was somebody good, and we're like, damn,
Yeah.
they get all these players are sick. You know,
Shit happens this time of year. It's football. All right,
Yeah.
guys. We out. Good luck. Peace.
go blue, go blue, go
Go
blue.
Broncos.